On today's Toy Spot, we are continuing our looks at the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Juggernaut wave as we have a look at X-Men member Marvel's Rogue. Yes, incorporating Marvel to the beginning title of some of these characters. Rogue is a figure based on a character that I've always loved, and this figure is also a well-deserving, I guess, reboot of Rogue, as we really have not gotten much in the way of Rogues. Try not to think of the X-Men Legends box set Rogue from Toy Biz. What a train wreck. Just maybe have a moment of silence for that figure. Somebody right now is like, what Rogue is that? Go check out Spot's review of Toy Biz X-Men Legends box set Rogue. It's a disastrous figure. But I have been looking, anxiously waiting for a new Rogue. We have Rogue here with the leg portion for Juggernaut. Also comes with a touchy ungloved hand that you can also put into her socket as well. Side of the package has some very beautiful artwork there of Rogue featured on both sides, as well as the back of the package has a very brief read-up that says, with just one touch, Rogue can absorb anyone's superpowers, making her capabilities in any matchup nearly limitless. Down below, if you want to collect and build Juggernaut, you would need the following 7 figures: Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Marvel's Havoc, Marvel's Rogue, Marvel's Phoenix, and Cable. Oh, and Juggernauts and Deadpool's there as well. Check out more from Marvel. Head over to www.marvel.com. It's easy as that. And also you can check out more from Hasbro, which I think in one video I said Mattel. Hasbro, www.hasbro.com. Hasbro. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at the Juggernaut wave from Marvel Legends series, and we're going to have a look at Marvel's Rogue. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Rogue, for the Build-A-Figure piece, comes with one of the legs for Juggernaut. It's surprising, I guess no surprise, that the leg feels heavier than the initial torso that we had a look at. Love the coloring on it. Again, I don't know what's up with the coloring. Like the boots, the bottom portion of the boot, maybe just because it has a wetter applied coat to it, seems like it's a darker color than the top portion of his boots. Anyways, we won't discuss that just yet. We'll wait until we get to the figure review of Juggernaut. In the meantime, we'll take the curvature of the foot, have that facing inward, and we'll apply the leg to the socket portion of the thigh. That's going to give us a rough idea of how big Juggernaut's going to be. His head obviously is going to add a little bit extra height to that as well, but that gives you some rough idea. So we need still a leg, 2 arms, and a head to build Juggernaut. Put him over to the side. Let's have a look at Rogue. Now, she does come with the interchangeable hand, which, bagging this figure away, if you don't plan on displaying her just yet, you may not actually figure that this is going to be anything that goes with Rogue. There's no real indication that it could be a Rogue hand, other than the fact that we are looking at the figure right now. So we will go ahead and take the hand off the socket. Oh, and also be careful of the one thing I just was worried about. The little cuff portion of the glove falls off very easily. I should have been a little bit more prepared for that. But there's Rogue with her ungloved hand. I guess, well, not that you would have her holding the glove, because it's obviously a fist, but they should have almost incorporated something where it looked like a pulled off glove, and she could have had it holding in her hand. Do bear with me. I think Spot's going to just pause for a second and grab the glove part before I lose it. Bear with me. Yes, with the black hole actually underneath my desk, I do have to be very careful, because anything that falls under there could lay victim to the dreaded black hole of 2017, a carryover from 2016. Let's go ahead and put the glove back in place, and then of course have that cap covered over to the top. Wish there was an easier way that could have been, as opposed to having that so loose from the rest of the glove. But understanding that they have to change the hands out, I guess there's no way around it. Something I think could have been a way around, and one thing that drives me absolutely bananas about this figure, go banana, is the bottom portions of the legs. Rogue does have these little cuffs, these little top portions of her boot. For one reason or another, and I don't know if it's just solely this particular figure, but this section is loose. It is comprised of two parts, I should say, a ring, like a lower ring portion, and then the top part of her boot. There's like a residue, a paint residue left behind right there. Not making me think that it was something that had to be glued in place, because she does have a double hinge in the knee. Understanding that they had to incorporate this so that she could bend her knee, obviously this, I guess, would have to be a loose piece, but gosh, I wish there was a way around it. I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't know why. I guess I do know why. But I wish there was an easier way to have her knee bend in two places rather than having to rely on this part here. When the leg is bent, this part doesn't flop around. It's fine. It's perfectly in a good place. When you have the leg straight, however, this just, it moves around. It sits floppy. It doesn't sit still. A lot of times when I'm displaying and standing the figure up, I have to kind of make sure I've adjusted the front cuffs of these boots so that everything is lined up. And I also try to avoid having these big gaps in between. Mild annoyance. It's a very mild annoyance. I know for the greater good, it's so that the knees can bend at 2 points, but it is something that drives me a little on the cuckoo end. Let's have a look at her face. Sound like radio DJ there. Let's have a look at her face. The face is pretty. A far cry from the Toy Biz X-Men Legends that we had a moment of silence for before the beginning of this review. The face is quite beautiful. I feel like it could still, and I hate to be the guy that keeps saying I feel like it could, as if everything should really require corrections, but again, just my own personal opinion. I wish that she had had a smile on her face, like maybe showing some teeth. Exaggerated expression is never a go. That's not something I'm down with. But you know what? Some figures justify certain expressions over others. A neutral Rogue is perfectly fine, but I think a big smile on Rogue, for the type of Southern Belle that Rogue is, I think would have fit perfectly for this figure. A nice big smile, like just a real playful smile on her face. A little bit of teeth showing. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the fact that her face is just, very neutral. Very neutral. But I think that could have gone a long way as well. Absolutely love these figures though. This new wave. I know I was a little iffy. I sounded a little iffy, I admit it, for the Cable. I love the Phoenix. Cable I think could have been worked on a little bit better. Love the Rogue though. I think Rogue turned out really good. The metallics in the greens, the yellows. The yellow doesn't quite gel in all cases. Like you find basically from the waist or from the cut of the thigh up is a darker, warmer yellow. As it gets lower beyond the point of the cut of the thigh, you start getting to a more cooler yellow where it doesn't, you can see a very deciding line, a very noticeable line where the two colors of yellow don't quite match. Metallic in the green also is a little on the shoddy side when it comes to the arm portion. It looks like it's a little too caked on, and it seems a little lighter in portions of the leg. The hair sculpt is quite good as well. I like the bandana that they've also, a little ribbon or headband that they've incorporated into the side. The one thing that does bother me though about the headband is that she has a big hole in the side of her head. You don't see it as much like this, but when you rotate the head this way or the body this way, you can see how it was plugged, literally just plugged into her temple. That would be painful. The hair though, no problems at all with the hair. I like the hair as well. Now Rogue's posability, it's on par with what we saw with Phoenix. There's not much different between the two. Oh, now also while we're at it, reaching off camera, Let's bring in Phoenix so you can see the differencing between the two figures. Rogue is a much broader figure. You'd be like, look at the leg difference between Rogue here and Jean Grey. Jean Grey's got a much thinner leg. Rogue's got a much stockier, broader, muscular thigh. It's interesting to see the differencing between the two. Also, Jean Grey too has a, dare I say, different sculpt in the upper torso, right above the abdomen portion of the figure, whereas Rogue's a little bit on the broader side. If you get my gist. But when it comes to her posability, Rogue has the following: her head is on a ball joint. It gets a little sticky around the collar portion because her hair rubs against it, and then you just can't really move the head past that point. The head also hinges up and down. Not really much though. Very, very limited in that end of things. The shoulders, for the arms themselves, the shoulders allow the arms to stick out, as well as a rotation all the way around. She has a bend at the elbow, a rotation at the forearm, a rotation in the wrist, as well as a hinge there as well. Upper torso is on a ball joint, full range of motion there. Forward, back, and out on the legs. A top swivel cut on the thigh, allowing a full rotation there. As we've already discussed, the double hinged knees. You can't see me, I'm just kind of shaking my head here. Double hinged knees, and finally a hinge in the foot. Ankle pivot, we got you there as well. Pluses for the figure looks great. It's nice to get an updated take on classic looking Rogue. I think the paint's, for the most part, pretty good. Face sculpt, a smiling Rogue could have gone a long way for me, but I think the face sculpt is still good. Much better than the horrendous Toy Biz version of Rogue that we got, well, many years ago. In fact, the only thing I could really nitpick, not counting smiles or anything like that, is just really the boots. Like, the boots are a little on the messy side. Not sure how they could have worked that in. Maybe if they had actually hinged somehow. I guess really they could have put the hinge actually right through the leg, as opposed to having this be a cover plate over top of the kneecap. This is really messy. Really, really on the messy side. But I mean, really, that's the only nitpick I can make about this figure that is so very gloriously Rogue. Fine work. Fine work. This could also be the running, so far, figure to get of this wave. It's a little early into the game. I know we've still got more figures to look at. But so far, Rogue, if you overlook the fact that the sloppy cut on the cap of the boot, the rest of the figure is great. Today's Toy Spot, we're looking at the Juggernaut wave from Marvel Legends series. This was classic Rogue with somewhat problematic knees. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.